from a very unorganized sector initially.
Correct.
For 2 decades ago, it was very unorganized. The trust
Yeah.
factor was very limited
Correct.
from customers. So working with different governments, with different agencies, under tight timelines, with stringent quality checks. So houses is something we're all very passionate about.
Right.
Right. Just like how I was passionate when I started in my house, the customer confidence was very low. People always had a mistrust in the builder. We traveled abroad, traveled to Dubai, traveled to Singapore. So we see all these wonderful buildings. And so each of those travels, I always wonder, why can't we actually do something like this in Hyderabad?
What are the top 5 things as a developer you need to take care of when constructing this high-rise buildings? You recently moved into the Bangalore market with your another project that is Follow Me Floric.
Correct.
So while Hyderabad was not enough?
Hyderabad has this preference for everything large, right? You typically want large apartments, you want large living, because we entertain a lot.
What exactly is your definition about luxury? Because the luxury in India would be different from what we see as a luxury in Dubai or Singapore.
One of the primary reasons for the growth in real estate in Hyderabad has been the unlimited FSI that we have.
Right. So if someone is starting their investment in the real estate, so what would be your top 5 advice for them? What are the top factors that is driving the price appreciation? Does that have any impact on the commercial market? Let me start today's episode with one of the questions, that is, if you had 1 crore rupees, would you invest in the real estate market? And if yes, then the next question is, how would you know where to invest, why to invest, and how to invest? That is where today's episode comes into picture. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the real estate market, specifically in a city like Hyderabad, which is rapidly evolving and growing in the last few years. For today, we have our guest who is the founder and director of Follow Me Estates, real estate company in Hyderabad. And he has been shaping the landscape of Hyderabad real estate market with his unique projects and with a vision that is different from the other real estate companies. Hi Prashant, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being a part of the episode today.
Thank you for having us here.
So before we deep dive into the episode and all, like talking about real estate in detail, the first thing which I would like to know is like how your journey started. Okay, how you entered into the real estate space and what was your initial journey?
Follow Me Estates has been in this business for about 20 years.
Yeah.
We've just recently celebrated our second decade in this business. Started off in the year 2005.
Correct.
After a successful banking career.
Okay.
I was earlier with the multinational banking corporation. Decided to pursue a passion which I had. I was supported ably by my family,
Okay.
which was already in this line of business. So that gave me a strong footing. And so in 2005, September, I decided to enter this line of business. So this primarily started off with the passion was actually there. And I think the kickoff point was probably the construction of my house that I had spent a lot of time. A house is very dear to anybody.
Correct.
Right?
I mean,
so I think
it's said that like we build a house once in a lifetime.
Yes, yes. So that is that's a saying that our parents have told us many years ago. But now trends are changing. Now I think each of us want to change a house as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, because now business is evolving, opportunities are evolving. So there's a lot of changes which are happening. Yeah. So I think that was the trigger wherein we started. And 2005 was when we set sail with our first project in Madinaguda in Hyderabad. And those are the best days of business, right? And I remember those days prices were going up every week.
Okay.
We were seeing very different prices. So I think that was a wonderful start.
I mean, so 2005, if you're talking about that era, Hyderabad was actually evolving at that time.
Yes.
So there was a rapidly things were changing.
Correct.
There.
So in fact, the real estate industry has evolved in the last 2 decades.
Correct.
Has changed a lot from a very unorganized sector initially.
Correct.
But 2 decades ago, it was very unorganized. The trust factor was very limited from customers. So I think we've seen a lot in that last 20 years. Yes, so that was just when the real estate business was beginning to change. And I think in that entire process also, we learned a lot. So it's been a wonderful journey for us.
So, I mean, since you started in 2005, and after that, there has been many ups and downs in the market, like 2008 crash.
Correct.
And then we have the pandemic in 2020.
Correct.
So, how has Follow Me, passed through that stage and how it has evolved itself?
See, the biggest challenge, of course, was 2007 when the agitation started for a separate state.
Right.
By which time we had already establish ourselves well enough. We had a good staff team with us. So we were little in a discomfort at that point of time because we had a huge workforce to manage. So that's when we decided to also get into the contracting side. So we have another firm where we do contracting work as well for both government as well.
Okay.
So that helped us in terms of utilizing the manpower that we have, the material manpower that we have. And the learnings also in that segment was huge because when you're working with somebody else, it's a total different gamut.
Correct.
Right? So we've done contracts outside the state as well. So working with different governments, with different agencies, with under tight timelines, with the stringent quality checks. So that has actually taught us a lot. And we've evolved a lot with that experience as well.
And since you mentioned about the separation of the state,
yeah.
So I can relate to that because I was in Hyderabad in 2011 somewhere.
Yes.
And that time also it was a hot topic over there.
Correct.
So how would you manage the emotions of the people? It was a sensitive topic.
Yeah, that was a very difficult period. We had to just go with the trend. We just had to bide our time and wait for the right opportunity. So we've used that time to try and acquire properties. We didn't go aggressive into the market. We wanted to stabilize ourselves. So this process we've used to actually mobilize land, sufficient land that we have mobilized. And that's how we've got back again once the new state was formed in 2014. We were able to launch a few projects from then.
Okay. So what was the biggest risk that you took early on?
Of course, getting into a new business. See, house is something we're all very passionate about. Right? Just like how I was passionate when I did my house. So I'm assuming that everybody else, it's a very big purchase in somebody's life. Right? So I think when somebody trusts you, it's a big burden on your shoulders. So trying to achieve or trying to keep that trust of the customer is very, very crucial.
Correct.
So during that period, we've actually learned how and what are the important aspects that are important for this business. So we've evolved as a company from that.
If you talk about the philosophy of Polmy Estates, now Hyderabad is an evolving market.
Correct.
So how, what makes Polmy Estate different from the other companies?
Again, as I said, see, our core philosophy is peace of mind.
Okay.
Right? And I think that's a very important tagline that we've kept. The reason we've kept that tagline also is because before this industry, as I told you, has also evolved in the last 2 decades, right? It was a very unorganized industry.
Correct.
The customer confidence was very low. People always had a mistrust in the builder.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big thing. Because if you go back to the discussion that our parents would be having about property,
correct.
Choosing the right consultant was a very important thing.
Correct. So, and when somebody is making the most important decision in his life, so it's very crucial that he has to have that comfort.
Correct.
Right? So I think our process starts from the time a customer visits us.
Okay.
To understand what this property is about.
Okay.
Right? So that's the level that's the time at which we would like the customer to feel at home. So our peace of mind tagline basically starts from there.
I read about that one line, like you mentioned somewhere that people are no longer looking for the applause.
Correct.
They're looking for peace.
Correct. So it's very important that today a customer is very comfortable. Right? So our process starts from the time he enters our office in trying to understand what we have for him. Okay. And then through the sale process where our team is guiding him with the proper advice on what is the right composition for his family, right? And then from the time after he takes a decision, the updating that we do on the process of the construction, and then to the time when he moves in, and then even post his moving in as well. There are a lot of challenges these days for him to settle in. So we're there at every point of time to help him and his family settle in properly.
If you talk about your flagship projects like the Polmy Plaza and Polmy Infinity.
Correct.
So what exactly makes them stand out from the other projects?
See, Polmy Plaza was designed as one of the most premium benchmark property in Hyderabad. The reason why we started designing this was, see, all of us these days are traveling a lot. We travel abroad, travel to Dubai, travel to Singapore. So we see all these wonderful buildings. And so each of those travels, I always wonder, why can't we actually do something like this in Hyderabad? Right? When people are able to afford such wonderful houses. So I was very lucky to get this parcel of land, which was the ideal place to actually do something like this.
I checked your location and I
Yes.
was like, it's really a nice location to start the project.
It's one of the most prime locations in
Yeah.
Hyderabad. Last 2-3 years, Kokapet as such has evolved as the most prime destination. And we are very close to the outer ring road, so easy access and egress is very easy. We have a 3.5 acre government park right behind us.
Okay.
So there's a lot of openness. And today customers want to live in nature, want openness. They enjoy all this, right?
Yeah, I mean, someone from Delhi can actually relate to that. Amid the pollution and all,
Yes,
you want a place which is peaceful.
Yeah, absolutely. So when somebody goes back home, that's the time he wants to relax and spend quality time with his family. So I think we chose that location, and once that was there, then we decided, why don't we do a world-class project here? So as part of that, we started designing this building. So in that process, we also realized that typically when we go to most of these apartments currently, the moment you enter, you see balconies, right? And most of we are used to hanging our clothes from the balconies. That's a typical Indian mentality, right? But whereas if you go to Singapore, for example, you don't see any balcony the moment you enter. You see a lot of greenery. Of course, Singapore has the luxury of having a very tropical environment. So they always, it's very lush and green.
If we talk about Dubai, then Dubai doesn't have that kind of environment. Still, we don't see those clothes hanging around there.
So what I thought was, why don't we have the bottom 5 floors as greenery and start the apartments from the 6th floor onwards. So that's how we decided that. So the moment you enter Palazzo, you look up also, you actually don't see, because up to the 6th floor, you actually don't see any clothes hanging. Right? You see a lot of lush greenery. So the bottom 5 floors are for the club and amenities. So typically apartments start from the 6th floor. And then from there, it's 50 floors of luxury.
50. Okay. So, I mean, when we talk about the construction things, what are the top 5 things as a developer you need to take care of when constructing this high-rise buildings, especially a luxury building?
Correct. So I think location is very important. Before we start planning for any project, the ideal location. So depending on the location, again, we have to then decide what sort of an apartment will actually fit in there. What's the composition of the project that we need to look at. And then we design around the market requirements as well. So whether there is a requirement for large format apartments, whether there is a budget apartment that will sell well. So we look at all that. And then we come into the amenities that a customer would actually want in that area, right? So when somebody moves in now today, again, as I have told you, in the process of in the evolution of the apartment process, earlier we were all used to first staying in independent houses, right? And then we slowly started moving into standalone apartments. And now gated communities is the big in thing. Everybody wants to stay in gated communities. Why? Because there is an advantage of having a lot of common facilities that you stay in, right? There is safety and security for the children. The wife of the family has a lot of amenities within there's shopping, there's groceries, right? Her children are safe. The old people have walking tracks, have networking locations.
I mean, I can relate. I spent my time in a colony area, and then I moved into a society, so I can understand the difference of living over there.
So a lot of people today are preferring gated communities rather than staying standalone apartments because of all these common amenities that are available, right? So as part of that, we also have to see what all amenities we can provide within that. Right? Kids want sports activities, right? There is a gym, there is a party area. Now today you have a function and you'd like to invite some guests to your house, obviously your house cannot accommodate so many guests. So there is a party hall in that community, right? And there's a swimming pool, there's a gym. So all these amenities are provided so that this takes care of the day-to-day requirements of the family.
We talked about Plazo in detail, but we didn't cover much about the Infinity project.
Correct.
So what is the unique factor about that?
See, Polymer Infinity is our Grade A IT building. And it's about 1.1 million square feet of IT space. This is again bang on the outer ring road. In Kokapet again. Kokapet has become a very hub for the IT and IT related industries also.
And mainly because of the financial district.
Yes, it's very close to financial district. And so a lot of people are willing to work here. And Kokapet again has become a sought after destination for both residents as well. So work from home, convenience of going back to home also is very important. So that's how we started developing this. So this is a 2.5 acre property right on the outer ring road. And it's about 1.1 million square feet of premium grade IT space due for handing over in about 2 months' time with all the occupancy certificates. We are getting a lot of inquiries for rentals as well, and hopefully I think leasing should start in the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay, all the best for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And I also read like you recently moved into the Bangalore market with
Yes.
your another project that is
Yes.
Polymi
Yes.
Floric.
Correct.
So while like I mean Hyderabad was not enough.
It's not like that. See, every company, we have a growth strategy, right? All of us would like to grow.
Yeah.
So as part of that strategy, see, we've been in Hyderabad for about 20 years, established a decent name here
Yeah.
for having delivered multiple projects here with the required quality that our customer would want. So as part of our growth strategy, we always wanted to see which are the other cities that we can actually look at now. So we've identified a couple of cities in India, and we've always considered Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, and Chennai to be the growth cities for India.
And these are actually growing. Like
Yes.
I mean, Bangalore, everyone knows,
Correct.
it's gradually growing every year because of the IT.
Yeah, IT and IT related
industry,
industries
yes,
are
yes.
very active there. In fact, look at all the GCCs. They
Yeah.
are preferring these 3 or 4 cities.
And Pune has recently again started
correct,
growing in the
correct,
last
correct,
few years.
Yeah. So given that there's an opportunity for us to grow in these
Yeah.
4 cities, we've identified Bangalore for as a first venture outside Hyderabad. So this is about a 9-acre property that we've acquired about 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's in the north of Bangalore, close proximity to the airport, close proximity to a lot of IT parks in the vicinity. Schools are also there. Living is already there. Hotels are there. We have a Leela right besides our property.
Okay.
There's a mall. So all that community living is already there in that area. And currently with the metro also coming up from the airport into north. So it's a very ideal situation for us to launch our first project.
Okay. So we talked about your flagship projects. We talked about the Bangalore market. But ultimately all your projects are named after the name Polymi only.
Correct.
And your company is Polymi Estate. That
Correct.
is understood.
Correct.
But why the name Polymi?
That's a very common question that I get from most of my customers as well. What is Polymi?
Because internet says something. So
Yes.
if it is that reason, good. If something, there's another story also
No,
behind
there's
that.
no story to it. It is just Polymi is actually Goddess Indra's wife.
Right.
So I think that is how we named our company, and we found it very attractive, and we found it very different.
Okay.
That's the only reason why we went with that. But otherwise, there's no other connotation to that name. But that's a very uncommon name in down south.
Correct.
Mostly, I think Bengal. That's a very common name.
Yeah.
A lot of Bengalis
Because
are-
the first time I read about this name, I was like, the name resonates to the Bengal
yes,
thing. But
yes, very
we're
uncommon
talking
in
about
down south.
Hyderabad now.
True, very true. Very uncommon down there, but yeah, it's basically something nice. It sounded nice, so we just decided to go with it.
And then your company tagline talks about peace of mind.
yes, yes.
So if you want to talk something more about that, how we're talking about peace of
Yes,
mind.
peace of mind is very important for each of us, right? In whatever we do.
Right.
So we as a company believe that if our customers have that peace when they are dealing with us or with the biggest purchase in their life, which is an apartment, so that gives us an immense satisfaction to the customer and to us as well. So we try to ensure that in every aspect of his purchase decision, till the time he occupies his apartment or villa, whatever project that he's getting into, the entire process is to be in a very smooth and convenient manner, so that at any point of time he is very comfortable.
Now, if you're talking specifically about the Hyderabad market, like the Hyderabad growth market has been rapidly changing, that we know.
Correct.
But what are the different growth zones in Hyderabad? Like Kokapet you talked about.
Correct.
But apart from Kokapet, what are the different other growth zones?
So Hyderabad has evolved a lot in the last 2 decades.
Correct.
The west of Hyderabad has seen a huge jump,
Yeah.
and it's continuing to grow.
I mean, I can relate. So
Yes.
the last I visited, it was a empty land
Correct.
where you're having your projects.
Okay.
And now it's totally different game.
So each year it's changing. It's evolving a lot. And I think any visitor who comes in, especially from the airport, and you get into the Rayadurgam area, you see it's more like New York now. I've had some people commenting that this doesn't look like India anymore. Yeah, so that's the beauty of Hyderabad.
Right.
I think the successive governments have been focusing a lot on creating the requisite infrastructure for these wonderful buildings to come up. And I think in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see many more beautiful buildings coming up, including Polymer Palazzo as well.
Right. So we want to talk about the different zones.
Okay, yeah. So coming to the zones, west of Hyderabad is always the most sought after destination, primarily because most of the IT and IT related companies are all in that area. That's why you see all these wonderful buildings.
Right.
You see the IKEA of the building is there, and Rayadurgam area has a lot of wonderful, beautiful, creative buildings. In fact, government also has gone a lot of in a big way in developing wonderful architectural architectural marvels there, I would
Yeah.
say. If you see something, a building called T-Hub in
I
Rayadurgam,
went there.
it's a beautifully
IKEA
designed
also.
building.
IKEA is-
IKEA is very close by to that. But the T-Hub is such a wonderful marvel. It's designed so beautifully. So it's nice. It creates a very it's a nice impression to visitors who come in there. So west of Hyderabad has always been the most important segment in the growth for Hyderabad. North is also growing well. East is also doing well, but comparatively West is preferred because it's closer to the airport. All the business hubs are in that area, and today organically also the city has to keep growing.
Right.
So I think now city slowly from Gachibowli north is going to go towards a fourth city because the current government is aggressively promoting fourth city.
Okay.
So I think the city is slowly going to move towards that with all the requisite infrastructure coming up shortly.
Okay. And since you have a project in both space like Hyderabad and Bangalore now, if you talk about the Hyderabad market and the Bangalore market,
Correct.
how would you compare that? Like, what's your take on that?
So both the markets are wonderful markets, right? Primarily because IT and IT related industries are thriving in these two markets, and that's definitely there's a huge requirement for residential as well. So I think there is enough space for everybody in both these markets. So we are trying to find a foothold in Bangalore now.
Okay.
Fortunately for us, the location we've chosen, which is North Bangalore, has a lot of Telugu-speaking people as well. So that is definitely going to give us a little bit of a kickstart,
Right.
because people who have known us in Hyderabad have already started noticing that we're coming up in Bangalore, and they've started responding to our office as well, asking
So
us
that
to when we
community thing will have an
that
impact.
comfort is there because they know that we've already delivered some wonderful projects here in Hyderabad, and so the moment they get to know that somebody is whom they know or heard about is launching something in Bangalore, so that gives them a little more comfort. So that definitely is an advantage for us.
Okay. But otherwise, if you talk about both the markets, like how has the growth been? Like for Bangalore, I know that it's a steady growth that has happened.
Correct.
But what about Hyderabad?
Hyderabad per se has seen a lot of blips in between, right? 2007 to 2014 was a very slow period when we saw the agitation for the separate state. Then gradually with the formation of new state, things did improve. And then we saw the COVID period where there's a lot of uncertainty. People don't know what's going to happen, whether people are going to be working from offices or not, or how the housing demand is going to change. But I think in those 2 or 3 months that all of us were at home, we realized the importance of having a home.
Correct.
Right? So I think that's why post-COVID, there was a splurge in demand for residential apartments.
And the prices actually, I mean, skyrocketed after that period.
Because suddenly everybody understood the importance of having a nice home. Because of 2 months when we locked in your house, and then that's when you realize how important space is. Right? So that's where I think then the demand for housing actually spiraled in both these cities. So Hyderabad really saw a huge demand, and that's when also Hyderabad saw the demand for large format apartments.
Okay.
So that's how we designed Palazzo.
So I was coming to that, like generally people perceive a apartment maybe around 2,000 square feet or 2,500 square feet.
Correct.
That is enough for them as a family.
Yeah.
So why 6,000 plus 8,000 square feet area?
So each state or each city, I would say, has a different style of living.
Right.
Some people prefer to stay in houses, independent houses still. That way, Hyderabad has this preference for everything large, right? You typically want large apartments, you want large living, because we entertain a lot. So we need large living areas where guests can come in and join us for lunches and dinners. We need large bedrooms because we're typically used to that. So there is that demand for having large format, whether it's villas or apartments. Compared to Bangalore, if you see, Bangalore is very mid-market destination. And another surprising factor is in Hyderabad, 2-bedroom apartments don't sell.
Okay.
A lot of builders having trouble selling 2-bedroom apartments. But whereas Bangalore 2.5 is the most premium, most selling.
Because most of the people in Bangalore are the working class coming from other states, so they just want to have a space to live.
Yes. So the demography of the people living in these two states are very different. The requirements are different. So when we enter a new market, we would like to understand the requirement of the people there, and then we design our projects accordingly.
Okay. Since we're talking about luxury apartments here, so what exactly is your definition about luxury? Because the luxury in India would be different from what we see as a luxury in Dubai or Singapore.
Correct.
So how is that difference, and what is your definition about it?
See, especially when you come to the luxury market, in that segment, people are well-traveled, well-read, well-understood. They know what luxury is all about.
Correct.
So we have to cater to that sort of luxury that is available probably in Dubai or Singapore.
Right.
right? So if you look at all these wonderful apartments which are coming up in Dubai and Singapore, I think Hyderabad also has come up with such similar projects. And one amongst that is going to be Polemi Palazzo, where we want to benchmark it as one of the most luxurious projects in Hyderabad.
So next time I visit to Hyderabad,
yes,
I'll have to check Polemi Palazzo.
You should, because we invite
the way we do it in Dubai.
Yeah, we do have a model flat which is already ready for viewing. Customers have already bought an apartment with us for them to actually see how that apartment is shaping up. So we've already done one. But yeah, so that oozes luxury now.
Right. Okay. Now, if we talk about 2026 and the coming years, so how do you see the Hyderabad market evolving in the next 5 or 10 years?
I think there is nothing to look back for these 3 or 4 cities that I was earlier talking about. That is Pune, Chennai, Bangalore and Hyderabad. Primarily because we are dependent on the IT and IT related sectors. And as far as these sectors are going, they are looking keenly at these 4 cities. So in that parallel, I don't see any slowdown at all in these cities. So similarly, Hyderabad definitely is going to do far, far better in the next few years. We've already seen it in the last 5 to 6 years, how the city has evolved with some beautiful buildings coming up, beautiful infra projects which the government has also done, lovely flyovers. The outer ring road is a big boon for the city, which has helped us grow. So I think all these are basically looking very good, and next couple of years is going to be the best period for real estate in Hyderabad.
And what would be Polemi's play in that change?
Definitely, we would like to be there, participate in this growth process, and try and do many more wonderful projects in future.
Maybe something more after the Plaza.
Yes, we are having a few projects in the pipeline. I think in the next 2 to 3 months, we'll be launching one project in Secunderabad, which is on the Minister Road. So that's coming up, and I think hopefully in the second quarter of this year, we should be launching that. We also have a large project coming up in Madinaguda, Miapur, which is again a mid-budget location. So there we're doing 2.5 bedroom, 3 bedroom and 3.5 bedroom. Ranging from 1,400 square feet to 2,200 square feet. So that's a large project. It's about 20-acre property. We're doing close to about 5.4 million square feet of residential space. I think that should be launching sometime in the second quarter of this year.
Now, there was one news about the FSI capping and all in the market. So, if let's say the government puts a capping on the FSI, would that impact any project? Because how would the pricing factor change then?
Definitely. See, Hyderabad, one of the primary reason for the growth in real estate in Hyderabad has been the unlimited FSI that we have. As long as your property abuts 100 feet plus road, you can build as much as you want. You leave the setbacks, and then you can go as tall as you want. I think that has been a big advantage also, because of which we've seen such tall and beautiful buildings coming up.
Same applies to the Noida market also. Because that also has the high rises because of that reason.
So this talk has been in the market that there is going to be a cap on FSI. But this has not happened in the last couple of years, and I don't see it happening any time soon also as well.
But let's assume it happens, then what would be the drawbacks?
Definitely, the land prices will come down. Right? Because of unlimited FSI, we are seeing these land prices skyrocket to this level. That would definitely bring down the land prices. But apart from that, I don't see much change. So I think because of which also the government wouldn't like to tinker with that. Because when everything is going well, why again disturb it?
They'll have to do a market correction of the pricing then.
Pricing wouldn't matter much because pricing, basic pricing anyway is going up, right? All the raw material costs are going up. Everything is definitely escalating every year. So we will not see much of a price correction as such. It will only hamper the price correction in terms of land values. But when everything is going well, I don't think any government would like to disturb that.
I mean, everyone wants to re-enter the elections and all.
Correct.
So they don't want to lose that election.
Absolutely. No government would like to disturb a successful process.
If I talk about the freshers, the fresh graduates and all, so how is the real estate market for them? Like if they want to make a career in this, maybe as a consultant or as a developer?
So definitely interesting opportunity because this industry is evolving, has changed in the last decade. It's going to become even better now. Technology is being used to a large extent, so there's a lot of scope for improvement, and we welcome that. So definitely there's a lot of opportunities also in this business for anybody like wanting to work in this business, in any of the lines of this business, because we have many verticals in the business, right from construction to sales to marketing to customer service, post handing over to facility management. So there are a lot of interrelated businesses in this line of the industry. For somebody wanting to start his own line being as a builder is also very welcome, because it's a but you have to be very passionate about this business, right? Because you're creating an asset for somebody else, not for yourself. So you have to have the passion to create something well for somebody. Only then I think you'll be able to successfully do well in this line.
If you talk about the upcoming builders or the upcoming realtors, so what would be that one advice for them?
You have to have passion.
Okay.
Because the reason being that you are actually creating an asset for somebody else. Right. So when that person, that's his most valuable asset that he's buying.
Right.
So you have to really have that passion to create something nice for him.
Okay. So you have to it's like you have to consider that asset as your own first.
Absolutely.
Then build it for someone else.
Absolutely.
Now, since we talked about the west side of Hyderabad, specifically Kokapet and all those areas.
Correct.
And we're also seeing like lots of villa projects coming up over there.
Correct. Yes.
So a villa generally costs about like 25 crore plus over there.
Yes.
So why do you think it's that much expensive?
So primarily land is the principal cost in a villa project, and land prices in the last 5 to 10 years have actually skyrocketed in Hyderabad. Primarily because of the demand for premium areas, and Kokapet of the west is actually doing very well. That's where the land prices in this area has gone up now. And that's one of the reasons why we're not able to do villas in the core areas of Hyderabad anymore.
Yeah, because land
prices
is
are very high. Yeah, it's a big challenge. So definitely that's why people are moving a little further down, where land is slightly at a more affordable price, where we're able to create beautiful villa communities there.
And when we talk about premium segment in Hyderabad, so what is the typical price range?
3.5 crores and above typically falls in the premium segment.
Okay.
Yeah, because now a 2-bedroom or 2.5 bedroom or 3-bedroom up till about 2,000 square feet costs almost about 3 crores these days.
Okay. Too costly. Okay. You have that vision that, okay, you want to grow out of Hyderabad.
Correct.
Started with Bangalore, maybe some other states in the upcoming years.
Correct.
But not many of the builders have been able to do that pan-India projects.
Okay.
So what is the specific reason? Like, do you need some political connections to go pan-India, or there is some other reason?
I think each company would have their own the plans for growth. So as part of our growth strategy, we decided to branch out to other cities. And I've seen a lot of other Hyderabad builders also go out to Bangalore. We already have a lot of Hyderabad builders in Bangalore currently.
So you already have the competition there.
Yeah, we have competition there as well from our local fraternity from Hyderabad. Many more have just started again coming back into Bangalore. Similarly, many from Chennai and Bangalore have already come into Hyderabad. So there is healthy competition now between builders from each state.
But does that political connection thing still matters?
No, that really doesn't really matter.
So
at the end of it, we have
hype in the market.
No, that's just it.
Okay, and many of the projects we see that there are like unsold units also for some reasons. So does that have any impact in the price in the market?
See, as far as I have seen, that's just that's not true as well.
Okay.
Because Hyderabad per se has been an end user market.
Okay.
If you go into any of the completed projects, if you don't find lights on in an apartment, that shows that that particular apartment has not been sold.
Right.
But if I go to any apartment on the west of Hyderabad, when I just keep traveling, I don't see many apartments which are not lit.
Okay.
So that shows that we don't have any unsold or not much unsold inventory, I would say.
Okay.
So there's nothing much to worry.
Maybe that is one of the major difference between the Delhi NCR market and the Hyderabad market, because
Hyderabad has been mostly an end user market.
Right.
For example, recently we've completed a 470 unit apartment project by the name Polymer Vante. We're totally sold out there. And 90-95% have already been occupied.
Okay.
So we've not seen any investor sales there.
Okay. Okay. Now, if you have to give like some top 5 advices for different segments, okay. So if someone is starting their investment in the real estate, so what would be your top 5 advice for them?
So somebody willing to invest in real estate, first time investor in real estate, should actually look at the company that he is willing to invest with.
Okay.
The location is very important because his return on investment should be either to resell this apartment at a later stage or to lease. Right. So what is his return going to be? Which are the locations which are going to do well in the next few years? Try and understand the market that way.
Okay.
Also then do a little bit of background check on the property, on the sizes, on the relevant infrastructure in that area, how convenient it is for somebody who's going to stay there, for schools or for hospitals or for play areas or shopping. This is typically what a household would actually require, right? So I think these 4 or 5 parameters, if we're able to check, then nothing can go wrong.
And what are the top 5 mistakes that an investor generally makes as a first time buyer?
Off late, we've seen a lot of issues cropping up in the Hyderabad real estate market where this pre-sale thing is happening, right?
Okay.
Typically being done by new builders or unknown people who are coming to this market with some freebies and some gullible people get hooked onto
Guaranteed lease.
Yes. So that is something that you have to be watchful about.
Okay.
See, because there are no free lunches in this in this world, right? So when somebody is offering a ridiculously low price, that means there is a catch to it.
Correct.
So I think I would warn or probably inform all those customers who get lured by such offers to be careful. Please do your background check. Please ensure that the developer is a genuine developer. He's already delivered some projects. Whether all his titles are in place.
Right.
Of course, we have RERA these days.
Right.
Whether please ensure that the RERA is there for that project.
And then from the RERA, we can check the history of the
of the developer of the project. Right. Do a little bit of background check on the property also, and then take a valid decision.
And what would be those 5 documents that a buyer should be checking before making the purchase?
So RERA is number 1, whether he's got RERA permission or not, whether he's received all the municipal permissions, and then whether the title is clear for that land. So these 3 or 4 you check, I think you're good to go.
And if we talk about the price appreciation in the market, correct. So what are the top factors that is driving the price appreciation?
See, real estate typically always sees an appreciation.
Right.
Year on year, there's always an appreciation. So real estate investment can never generally go wrong in terms of appreciation if you've bought the right asset. But only thing you have to be aware of the location. Which areas are definitely going to grow, which are the growth areas for any city. And then look at investment in that area. For example, if you look at Bangalore now, North Bangalore in the last 2 to 3 years has been doing exceptionally well.
Okay.
Right. So next, I foresee that for the next couple of years, North Bangalore will do very well. Okay. So that is again a very good location for somebody to look at as an investment.
Okay. And if we talked about the Hyderabad and the Bangalore market too much, but if we want to make a small comparison between the Delhi NCR market and the other market,
okay.
So how would you compare that?
I'm probably the wrong person because I don't know too much about the Delhi NCR market. But the little bit that I've understood from whatever little awareness that I have about the Delhi NCR market is that the Delhi NCR market has gone through a lot of changes in the last 10 years, right? And primarily that's one of the reasons why RERA also came in.
Right.
So I think people have already burned their fingers. People have learned a lot here.
Right.
So I think people are going to be more cautious now in taking a quality decision before they buy their dream home.
Thanks to the Delhi NCR market for bringing the RERA actually. They're one of the reasons for that. Post-COVID, we have seen like too much of hybrid work culture also coming up. Now you did mention that, okay, the pandemic had an effect and people started buying their home.
Correct.
But does that have any impact on the commercial market?
Commercial leasing was actually considered to be a no-go zone post-COVID because of the confusion that was there from work from home culture which was developed. So people didn't actually know whether people would go back to offices to work. But I think that's the time when we took the risk of starting our project. Polymy Infinity, which is our grade A IT building, was actually commenced immediately after COVID.
Okay.
So we decided to take that plunge and take that little bit of a risk in starting that project. And fortunately, see, the only reason we took that plunge was I knew that none of us can sit at home for too long. Those 2 months that we were all locked up in our houses was enough reason for us to get out, right? And as humanity, we need to meet people. We need to be amongst people. So that work culture also cannot go wrong. Right? You can't just sit at home each day and keep working. You have to meet your colleagues. So there's a lot of work which happens when you meet people. So I always felt that this thing will not sustain for a long time. So I had that belief, and because of which we started this IT building, and to our luck now things are looking very rosy.
Yeah, I mean, it's back to shape now.
Yes. In fact, leasing is at its highest now in Hyderabad.
Okay.
Year on year, we're seeing a 40% growth in commercial leasing.
Okay.
So that shows that everybody is back to office, and there is a huge demand for office space currently.
Everyone is not willingly back to office for sure.
I'm sorry?
Because everyone is not willingly back to office.
No, but
there are companies who are imposing also.
Okay.
So there's a mix of it.
Okay.
Some people want to get back to office. Some people say, please, let me sit at home and do my work.
Okay.
I think like it was a very insightful conversation. And thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge about the domain. I mean, real estate is a very vast domain, I know. And we've still not touched most of it.
Okay.
But yes, Hyderabad market, we got an insight from your expertise.
Yes.
So thank you, Prashant, sir, for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you very much for having me here. and very happy conversing with you. It's a wonderful conversation that we've had.
Same here, same here. In any ways, connecting to the real estate market, please make sure that you're taking a right decision. Okay, do the necessary checks and then only put in your money. Thank you. Have a great day.